There are five major mindsets that people who don't succeed sustain. And like the old hard age would say, if you listen to failures, you would not be a failure. If you listen to successful people, you would be successful. So if you listen to this, it's enough. These keys are sufficient enough to remove you from that lonely estate. The first thing is money is evil and money is carnal. As Christians, if I ask you to say the word rich, you would feel guilty, almost asking for forgiveness, but you are viewing wealth from a negative disposition. Perhaps you sustain the belief that in order to acquire wealth, you have to do something against your core moral belief systems. As a young man, to get wealth, you have to do some cutthroat shit. You have to uh, lie, or you have to tell lies. You have to bring somebody down. You have to do something that doesn't align with your moral values. As a lady, you have to sleep around. You have to sleep your way up the corporate ladder, which is a fallacy. Most people sustain this kind of belief system. Okay, there are two kinds of people who sustain this belief system. The first is maybe people who have been wrongly mentored, or you grew up in a household where you keep hearing that wealthy people are evil, wealth is carnal, don't talk about money, it is evil, stay away from it. But if this was really the case, do you want a $10,000 raise? Of course I want. Then why do you want this thing that is evil? It's just because of the point I earlier stated. Money is not evil, and if you believe that the people who have this wealth has been using it the wrong way, then why don't you go out and get it and deploy it in a more prudent manner? Be an example and show people how wealth is actually spent. The second kind of people are lazy people. Lazy people love this kind of saying because it immunizes them from taking actual action. They don't want to work. They find sayings like, oh, some of us are unique and we take time to bloom. Those kind of things. They have lots of photos in their gallery, using it to reaffirm and reinforce their monumental laziness. Money is not going to fall for you in your lap. If you don't take action, you would never get money. That's the first thing. And also, in a country here like Africa, where your actions or your decisions are immediate, the consequences of all your decisions are immediate. When you say, I don't want money, or money is evil and carnal, you face the consequence immediately, because what you're now saying is that I and my family are going to be subject to absolute poverty. In a country where the average salary is $50 a month, regardless of blue collar or whatever color job you are, where there are no prestige establishments like a McDonald's that you can work for $40 an hour. Even construction workers find it difficult to get employment. Yes, the ones you guys work, they find it very difficult to get employment here. Then what chance of employment do you have? You who has no skill, who has no experience, who's looking for $40 McDonald's job. What advantage do you have men like that? Of course they will outperform you in every metric and in every regard. Once you make that kind of decision, especially here in Africa, and you're forced to revert to a subsistence kind of living, it's ultimately few moments. It's only a matter of time before you switch allegiance because of the subsistence life you're living. That's the first one. Money is evil and money is carnal. The second is no participatory rule. The only reason why meditation, frequency, paradigm shifts, and all of this movement is one of the fastest growing movement is because it feels this need. People would rather give money. People would rather go through any route than to actual take action, than to actually put in the work. A gym membership costs $20. Weight loss drug costs maybe twice, maybe even twice that amount. But people will prefer to take that route because it feels this need. No participating rule. People want to sit out in open air fields and wear headbands that says I meditate or I am abundant. You can scream you're abundant 1,000 times, but if you don't put in the actual work, if you don't put in the necessary labor, you would never attain that which you seek. When you say visualize, most of us visualize the end product. Most of us visualize going to Gucci, Louis Vuitton. Most of us see the good things, but who's funding that lifestyle? What do you do or what are you doing in order to keep the money coming in order to keep the finances rolling in? What endeavor or what outlet is that does that finances find in your bank account? What channel is it coming through? Does it fall through your bank or does the universe shower you with money? Exactly. So you have to start thinking of it like in this manner and proportion. There is no worthy sight than a man who is striving towards a predefined goal and who believes, using the manifesting term, who believes he has already achieved it. It's only a matter of time before his goals start pulling towards him and he start pulling towards his goal and he ultimately achieves it. That's the second one. The third thing is you believe tithing and giving is the only prerequisite to success, which is a fallacy. I'm looking at it from a religious standpoint because most people have used religion to justify mediocrity. As tragic as it sounds, majority of Christians believe that once they put in a tithe, once they give the priest some kind of seed and sit back, money will suddenly fall on their lap. But this is wrong. Even if it's kind of adjacent to the second point, even if God connects you to Elon and you sit in front of Elon or Bill Gates or Bernard Arnold, the richest man in the world, he would require your service. You would have to offer him some kind of value, or he gives you a job that ultimately translates to financial reward. It looks like you manifested it, but you actually have to put in effort. There's no substituting this law. Of course, there are exceptions, but exceptions do not disprove the rule. Would you rather put in the work and get a 99% chance of the odds in your favor than being that minor 1%? It might happen, it might not. Guess what? It won't happen for you because you are cursed. Exactly. If you think that way, it won't happen for you. And when it doesn't happen for you, you will say, I knew it. And you were right. You were right. Ahead of this story, I believe it's fiction, given in order to illustrate the point. Two foreigners or two travelers were traveling to a foreign land. And as the first one arrived, on his way to venture into this newly found land, he saw a farmer by the side, tilling the ground. Hey, excuse me, I heard this land is bad. The economy is in a downturn. There are thieves and looters waiting to rob you of your belongings. The women are whores. Everything about this new country is trash. The farmer raised up his head and gave him a simple response. You are right. Few minutes later, the second traveler arrived. About to enter, he saw the farmer and asked a slightly different question. He said, I heard the economy is flourishing. I heard everyone is good. I heard the people are very welcoming. That this is a very prosperous country. The farmer gave him that same response. You are right. Whatever you think, you are right. Whatever you say, I do. You can't prosper in United States because of the economy. You're right. It's Joe Biden's fault. You're right. If we vote this person, maybe things might change. But who are you going to vote that is actually going to come along and give you money? Actually going to come and say, here's money. Take. Nobody. Nobody is coming to save you. If you don't save yourself, nobody is coming. The fourth is all I have, if all I have is capital and a business idea, it is sufficient to prosper me. That is wrong. That is not all you need. There are so many variables to the equations. If as an ambitious entrepreneur, which I believe you are, you want to build something that is global. With this level of limitation on your mindset, Can you steer a ship like Apple, $1 trillion conglomerate? Can you steer that kind of ship? Exactly. It's not necessarily your business idea. It's not necessarily what you do. It's not necessarily how you do it, but who you are. Your mindset play a very important role in your success. So regardless, while you're pitching investors on your new idea, you also have to sustain the mental fortitude that comes with entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is not always easy per se, except you establish a company that sets itself apart from others. But if you are going to outdo your competitors based off of quality and price, then be prepared to face the consequences. That's the fourth thing. The fifth is an entitlement mentality. You feel someone owes you success. You feel the world owes you success. But once you understand that the world doesn't owe you anything, that might seem like a very cynical way to view it. But I would argue that it's actually liberating. Once you come to that conclusion, you only feel betrayal when you feel like you were owed something. You only feel resentment when you feel expectation for assistance. You had an expectation for assistance. Once you come to the conclusion that nobody is coming to save you, it's actually liberating. Then you can finally be free to focus on yourself for 100%. Those are the five keys, guys. And you would hear me say that what you're looking for is also looking for you, but not this version of you. You have to evolve to a totally, absolutely different version of you. But this version of you is not sufficient to host the magnitude of results you desire. What you see in your head, this little version of you can't hold it. You have to keep striving and keep taking actions that leads you to your desired goal. You see, I always advocate to fix your mindset because your mindset is the controller, is the governor of your actions. Most people think, oh, I'll go to the gym and get jacked. But if you get jacked and you're stupid, you're only going to be a stupid jacked man. Nothing changes. Your body is not a controller of your results. Your body is only the principal channel that produces results. That is why you focus on this physical realm, which is deception. Imagine you're driving a car, for instance, and maybe because of the level of your incompetence, you crash that car into a ditch. Police does not arrest the car, they arrest the driver. That driver is your mindset. See, regardless of the car we give you, we can give you a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, a Ford Focus, a Ford Mustang, a Chevrolet. You will ultimately reproduce that same result, which is hitting the ditch because of the level of your incompetence and your brutal, monumental incompetence. That is why you always reproduce that same result. So the same can be extrapolated into your life. You might think the idea is to get jacked or to change something within this physical realm. No, to change a thing, you don't say I want to quit porn. No, to quit porn, you have to build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. The time you spend at 4 a.m. in the morning beating the shit, doing things that are very unquestionable, that are questionable, you can replace that activity with having a good night's sleep. That's all it is. As always, Webchon family, it's been a pleasure speaking to you guys. I'll see you in the next one.